Enamait from RossTraining.com. Last week I filmed a brief video about building confidence in athletes. It was primarily directed towards coaches and trainers looking to boost the confidence of their athletes so the athlete can ultimately perform at a higher level. Now, since I filmed that video, I had a lot of questions come in, one of which I believe is certainly worthy of a response. Someone asked me what happens after we've developed confidence in our athletes if that athlete goes out and performs and suffers a defeat. How do we minimize the damage of that loss so we aren't forced to start back from scratch? Because the last thing that you want to do as a coach or as a trainer is be forced to rewind and repeat all of the work that you've already put in with the athlete or team. So what I'm doing in this video is talk about steps that you can take following a loss, because oftentimes it is how you as a coach or as a trainer respond to the loss that will ultimately make or break your athlete. Okay, the first way we begin to minimize the damage of a loss is by not kicking a man who's already down. Following a loss, the athlete's going to be feeling down. He's upset. There might be an emotional response. The last thing that you need to do as a coach is to yell at him about losing. Yelling at him won't accomplish anything. It's not going to suddenly get him to perform at a higher level. It's not going to suddenly boost his confidence. If that athlete could have won, he would have. He came up short. So rather than highlighting the obvious, instead, give him something initially that's positive to think about. Let him know that as his coach, you still believe in him, you still have his back. A few words of encouragement can go a long way. Hey, keep your head up. You got nothing to be ashamed of. I'm proud of you. And then in addition to that encouragement, take it a step further and try to highlight something specific, something technical about the event that he did well. For instance, if it's a boxer, suppose his jab was working well. Let him know, hey, jab looked great tonight. It was sharp. It's the best you've looked. You have come a long way. Let him know that he was not a complete failure. Because regardless of what you tell him, that athlete's going to go home. He's going to think about the event. He's going to analyze the competition. So what you are doing, in a sense, is serving as a puppet master. You're pulling the strings. You are trying to dictate, at least partially, what he thinks about. So give him something positive to think about. Let him know, hey, my coach still has my back. Hey, I did this well. Coach said I have improved. There's still hope. Because if you don't give him anything positive to think about, he's just going to harp on the negative. And that's how an athlete's confidence goes crashing down. We're trying to minimize the damage. So let him know you're not a failure. I still believe in you. And again, you did something well. Okay, so after we've given that athlete something positive to think about, we also need to sit down with them and analyze what went wrong. We aren't going to just identify the problem, though. We also need to provide a solution. It's not enough to tell an athlete what he's doing wrong. Take away the uncertainty by also telling him what he needs to do to get right. Here's what you did wrong. Here's what we're going to do. I have a plan in place. Because the last thing that you want that athlete doing is going off on his own and, one, trying to figure out what went wrong. We'll eliminate that by telling them the problem. We also don't want that athlete, two, trying to devise solutions on his own. We'll eliminate that uncertainty by telling him, look, here's what you did wrong and here's how we fix it. As your coach, I have a plan that we can implement to correct the problem. Let your athlete take confidence in you as a coach, because that will ultimately boost his own confidence. He won't be lost in doubt and uncertainty, trying to fix a problem that he may not even know. You eliminate that. You've told him what's wrong. You've told him what we're going to do to fix the problem. And don't worry if it's something you've spoken about before, because following a loss, that is the best opportunity you'll ever have as a coach to instruct and teach your athletes. They will never be more receptive to learning than after the loss. I myself, I've had athletes They've gone out, they competed, they won. But during that win, I've identified problems. And I've sat down with the athlete afterwards and said, look, it's great that we won, but here's some things that we could have done better. A lot of times the athlete's going to agree, they're going to nod their head, but they're partially distracted by the excitement of the win. So your instructions, your advice, they might not be fully taken to heart. Following a loss, though, there is no excitement. The only feeling that's there is disappointment. A feeling that that athlete does not want to feel again. You can learn more from 1 loss and 10 wins. So as a coach, take advantage of that opportunity. Sit down with your athlete, be brutally honest. Here's what you did wrong. Here's what we're going to do to fix it. Again, you're controlling what he thinks. So when he goes home on his own, now, first of all, you gave him something positive, but now you've also identified a specific problem that he can think about. And you've also begun to tell him how you're going to fix that. You have a solution. He can take comfort in your knowledge. He doesn't need to be lost on his own in uncertainty trying to solve the problem. Instead, he can be eager to get back to training, to get back to practice, where coach is going to start to put these pieces into place so we can fix the problem and move forward. Okay, so we give the athlete something positive to think about, we identify the problem, and we provide a solution. There's one last thing that I like to do after a loss, which isn't directly related to confidence. But what I want to do after that loss is take advantage of how that athlete feels, the disappointment. I'll tell the athlete, look, take a snapshot of how you feel right now and put that in your back pocket. Remember how much it sucks right now to feel what you're feeling. Because I'll be honest, as an athlete, I hated losing. As a coach, I hate losing. I want my athletes now thinking the same way. I want them to be serious about competing and be serious about going out there to win. So challenge your athletes. When you're pushing them in practice or you're pushing them in the gym and they're thinking about stopping, remind them, say, hey, pull that image out of your back pocket. Would you rather keep going now, or would you rather feel what you felt after your loss? Do you want to repeat that disappointing feeling? Or are you going to work a little bit harder, work a little bit smarter? Because look, I don't care how good you are, I don't care how hard you train, there's always room for improvement. We can all improve. So take advantage of that loss and use it. Use it to inspire and motivate your athletes to do a little more. Work a little harder. Work a little smarter. No, it might not be directly related to confidence, but what you're doing is at least distracting the athlete from the disappointment that he might feel after the loss. Yes, we're going to remind him of it, but we're not going to have him off sulking in the corner about the loss. No, we're going to tell him, look, we don't want to feel this again. So get your ass back in the gym, get back to practice, and let's start working to fix the problem. And if the athlete is serious, he won't sulk in the corner. He's going to be eager to get back because he's not going to want to feel what he's feeling after the loss. So again, use that. Use it to get your athletes working harder than they did before to prevent them from feeling what they feel. No one wants to lose. No one wants to experience that disappointment over and over again. So use what you can as a coach to boost the confidence, minimize the damage of a loss, and to motivate your athletes to give more than they otherwise would have. So in summary, if you have any questions about this or anything else, as always, shoot me an email at ross@rosstraining.com.